welcome back to another video on the F1 Journal, and today we are doing my 2024 F1 driver lineup predictions. It's that time of year again, just before the summer break. I can't remember the time where we do it, before silly season kicks into gear. I did this last year, just before the madness went into place. I wonder if we can have similar stories this year, who knows. But let's get straight into it, and starting off with a big choice, because at Red Bull, I'm going to say the old team, Max Verstappen and Daniel Ricciardo, will be reunited. I don't know, maybe off the back of Hungary. Perez, even though he came through to third, didn't have a great weekend. Obviously, he's been on this horrendous run recently. That's really amped up the pressure. And let's face it, Ricciardo has gone into Tauri for one reason only, to get that seat back. And yeah, he made a pretty good start for it, and I think he's only going to get better. Based off Hungary. And yeah, we know Red Bull, we've seen it already this season with De Vries, they are ruthless and they will change no matter what. And with teams potentially close next year with 1 tunnel restrictions, etc., I really think they want to have a second driver who is capable of delivering the goods. So therefore, I'm going to say it will be a shock return, and Maxiel will be reunited at Red Bull next year. Moving on to Mercedes, and yeah, I'm going to say it will stay the same. Lewis Hamilton and George Russell will remain the same. Obviously, Russell under contract, and yeah, no reason to get rid of him. Yeah, probably one of the best young drivers on the grid. So much potential, and for me, a future world champion. But for Hamilton, obviously, his contract's out at the end of this year. And yeah, he's repeatedly gone on about how he's close to renewing it without actually seemingly signing it yet. But yeah, for me, I think it's just a matter of time. Lewis Hamilton and Mercedes kind of inseparable now. And yeah, I don't think they'll split up. I think it could be a multiple-year deal. And Hamilton will push for that 8th floor title with them. And at Aston Martin, yeah, probably most obvious driver lineup choice of the lot. Fernando Alonso and Lance Stroll. Yeah, obviously Alonso, what a great season he's had so far. He's got a multi-year contract. There's absolutely no reason to split with him. And yeah, Lance Stroll, even though his performances maybe haven't been up to scratch, Aston kind of seems to be falling back a bit. But I think, yeah, there's no way he's going to drop his down, especially potentially in the midfield where they are now, not even at the top. But moving on into Ferrari with Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz. And yeah, once again, there's just absolutely no reason to replace this. Obviously, there are rumours of Leclerc being unhappy at Ferrari and looking for a Mercedes driver. Maybe, just maybe something could happen if Lewis Hamilton walks, but personally I can't see that happening. And I think Carlos Sainz, yeah, under contract for another year. There's no reason for either of those to really get split up at this time. I think they're a perfectly solid driver lineup, so yeah, that'll stay the same. But moving on into McLaren, and I'm going to say Orlando Norris and Oscar Piastri will be retained. Another quite obvious one. Oscar Piastri, of course, there were some doubts from people. Would he be able to keep up with Lando in a way that Daniel Ricciardo couldn't? Well, the answer has been emphatically yes so far, and it's been especially proved in Bristol and Hungary, where he's right on the tail of him for most of the races. Yeah, just really impressive drives. And as for Lando Norris, what an incredible job he's doing. Some doubts about McLaren in the last few races, I think certainly would have gone away, and he'll be happy to stay. But moving on into Alpine, and yeah, Esteban Ocon and Pierre Gasly, maybe hasn't quite been the fireworks we were expecting so far between these two. They kind of had two different crashes involving each other, but to be fair, neither driver's been at fault for any of these. So yeah, I'm going to say it will stay the same. And yeah, I think a really still exciting all French driver lineup pairing in the future. Personally, I think Ocon maybe has a slight edge on Gasly at the moment. But yeah, I definitely think it will be close between the two Frenchmen over the coming seasons, potentially forming a long-time partnership there. At Haas, I'm going to say it will be Nico Hülkenberg who retains his seat. Obviously, he's done a great job in his return to F1. Kind of surprised everyone with how good his qualifying pace has been. Obviously screwed over by Haas's poor race pace. But yeah, I think there's no doubt Hülkenberg will stay. And in the second seat, Magnussen has been getting really badly outperformed so far by Hülkenberg. And yeah, it's getting to the point now where I'd be surprised if he stays on. So that kind of leads you to think who could replace him. And personally, it just kind of seems like there isn't too many options out there. So yeah, maybe I've gone for a bit of a left field one, but I'm going to say Zhou Guanyu. I'll get onto my Alfa Romeo driver lineup choice then later. But yeah, he's kind of a bit of a pay driver. Has need that, and yeah, also an experienced hand in F1 by now. Doesn't make too many mistakes, which of course is a priority for Gunther Steiner. So yeah, if you kind of think about it, this one does make sense, especially when we get onto our Alfa Romeo lineup. Moving on to Williams, and I'm going to say it'll be Alex Albon in the seat for them, in the first seat for them. And I think, yeah, obviously that's quite an obvious one. Great job he's been doing. Not too many options either, and I think he wants to build a really long-term project at Williams. And in the second seat, I'm going to say it will be Frederick Vesti. To be honest, I could see it being any one of Logan Sargent, Fred Vesti, or Mick Schumacher. I think this is very dependent on Vesti winning the FT title, which at the moment it looks like he's probably favourite to do. And obviously, the Mercedes connections, Toto will be pushing to get in the seat, and we've seen how powerful Toto is. Logan Sargent could easily stay on, but I think with the Vowles Wolf connection, that could be quite powerful. And Mick Schumacher, I don't know, I can kind of see Williams wanting to go for a rookie, one who maybe has a bit more longer term potential than Mick Schumacher, who obviously struggled quite a bit with Haas last year. But I feel like this is the most set open seat, maybe the second Williams seat. At Alfa Romeo, I've gone for Valtteri Bottas and Teo Porcher. Bottas, I think he has another year left in his contract. So for me, maybe he hasn't had best season so far, but as a team leader, he's still very valuable to have with all of the experience, especially going into Audi in 2026. So Bottas to stay on, and as his teammate, I'm going to say with Teo Porcher taking the seat. Obviously, I kind of expected him to dominate F2 this season. It hasn't quite worked out, but still very competitive and still very much in the frame for the championship. I think he is deserving now of his seat in F1. He's had his time in the junior categories, and I think now is the time really for him to get a chance in the pinnacle of motorsport. It'll be a really exciting choice by Sauber. Obviously, a driver since they've nurtured since he was young, and maybe as a filling gap and see how he does before the Audi takeover comes in. I think this could be a really exciting option. And finally, for AlphaTauri, I'm going to say it'll be Liam Lawson and Yuki Tsunoda taking the seat. Starting off with Tsunoda, obviously out of contract, but I feel like he will do enough to retain his seat. Maybe getting slightly outperformed by Ricciardo over the second half of the season, but still enough to be very competitive. He's had a decent season so far, so I think he deserves to be kept on as team leader. Obviously, great person to think to have in the team, Tsunoda. And as his teammate, I'm going to say Liam Lawson. I think in his Super Formula, he's definitely deserving of a chance. And if he goes on to win it, I think he for sure will be in a seat. If not, I think he will need to be competitive to ensure he gets it, but I think he would be the favourite. And if my prediction comes true with Ricciardo stepping into Red Bull, I really can't see Perez being interested in AlphaTauri, and he's probably more likely to have a year out, to be honest. So I'm going to say it'll be Lawson and Tsunoda driving for AlphaTauri next year. But anyway, guys, that's the video. Thanks so much for watching. Like, subscribe. Next, I'll come to for daily F1 news and subscribe to the channel. It's going to be greatly appreciated. Thanks so much for watching. Peace out.